Okay, good evening all. Right on 7 o'clock.
Good evening, Ben.
Good evening. Who we took? Was that James, was it?
Yeah, it is, James.
Good to see you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Hello, Ram. Hello, everybody. Hope you're well. Hey, Sat. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Ben.
You been well, mate? How's the family?
All doing good and safe.
Good man. G'day, Roop. Hey, Kev. Just having a look through the list there. Michael Mean, I can see. Hello, Philip Turtle. Good to see you, mate. I can see Bede as well. Brad Bristow, good to see you again. We've got pretty good roll up. Fantastic. Okay. How many have we got there, Claire?
11.
Thanks, Kev.
With 2 more coming in, 3 more coming in.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get that number. How many have we got?
We've got 114 now.
Fantastic. We're going really, really well. Okay, so we're going to start on time, as umpires do. So we've got this. Welcome everybody tonight to the New South Wales Cricket Umpires and Scorers Association convention online. I'll put that in inverted commas. This is the law question discussion. I've listed it as umpire questions, but they're just cricket questions. So everyone that's here tonight, scorers, umpires, anyone to do with cricket, so welcome to be here, and it's so good to have you here with us. I'll just have a quick look at the structure tonight. We'll aim to finish around 7:45. If possible, can you please have your screen name as your name? Everyone should have the ability to click on their picture or their box with the 3 little dots. And you should be able to change your name. If you can't, it's okay. Tonight we're going to use the chat function in the chat box there. So if you haven't already, please get in there and say hello. Let us know where you're from tonight, because we're going to be using through a few of those for a lot of these questions tonight. So hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. Claire, thumbs up. Fantastic. And then every umpire's dream, isn't it, to have 15 men around the bat. Fantastic. Look forward to it. All right, straight into it. Let's go. Question 1. Situation here that we've got a no ball has been delivered. The striker is played down to backward square leg. 2 fielders in chase. First fielder gets to the ball, picks the ball up and thinking, oh, I'm down on the ground here. We need to get this ball into the wicketkeeper a little bit quicker. I'm going to pass it over to my teammate, and then they can throw the ball in quicker. That first fielder gets the ball, throws it to their teammate, but it actually misses their teammate, and then the ball goes to the boundary. The moment the ball has been thrown by the fielder, the batsmen have completed 1 run. Then the ball goes to the boundary. How many runs are scored from this delivery, everyone? You can put in A, B, or C, or you can put in 4, 5, or 6. What does everybody think? The scorers on the call tonight would already know the answer. This is the only one that doubles up over the 2. Excellent. A couple more answers coming through. Great stuff. 6 runs. 6 runs scored from that delivery to the side that are batting. Now, how do we break these down, these runs? We've got 1 no ball. So remember, when no balls are called, signalled, the batting side are automatically given the 1 run for the no ball. This situation that we have here, we've actually got it's an overthrow situation. It's not our normal everyday run-of-the-mill overthrow where a fielder within the ring picks the ball up, shies at the stumps and then misses the stumps and then goes all the way to the boundary. We've got a throw here from a fielder, and the throw is actually giving the batting side an extra opportunity to score runs, hasn't it? In Tom Smith, that's exactly what an overthrow is defined as. Whether it's the ball being shied at the stumps or a ball thrown by a fielder to provide the batting side with an extra opportunity, then the ball goes to the boundary. Now we've got an overthrow situation. The non-striker is going to face the next delivery. The moment of the throw by that first fielder, the batsman had completed 1 run. Even if they'd come back and crossed on their second before the ball hit the boundary, it's the moment of the act of that throw is where we take the batsman where they are. And they need to remain there for that next delivery as well, even if they run back before the ball hits the boundary. It's the moment of the act, not the ball hitting the boundary, is where we take where the batsmen are. So this occasion here, batsman completed 1 run. That is scored, plus the boundary allowance, plus the no ball from that delivery. As I said before, have a quick read of that yellow there, and you're going to find that in Tom Smith as well. It's a definition of an overthrow. And that definition is what we apply to Law 19.8 in the laws of cricket. Doesn't always mean the fielder is throwing the ball at the stumps. Peter, good question. Covered under the same law, 19.8, which is either an overthrow or a deliberate act by a fielder. Considered the same thing, all covered under the 1 clause there. Okay, question 2. How do we answer this appeal? Situation. Striker plays the ball to mid-on. Striker, non-striker run. Striker making good their ground at the bowler's end. Full stretch, full pelt. Places their bat behind the popping crease, so they're within their ground. But what happens is the bat hits a foot mark and jolts the bat from the striker's hand. The moment the ball comes in from the fielder, puts the wicket down, the striker is actually above the popping crease and has dropped the bat as well. So they're not within their ground. What's everybody's thoughts? And some people have got in there quite early. Out or not out, A or B? Yeah, I like it. We're all going pretty well. Lots of Bs. Big green tick. Well done. Simon Lightbody. Yeah, correct. Prior to, would have been 2017. Prior to 2017, that would have been out. Since that 2017 change in the laws, it is now not out. So, because the batsmen have made good their ground in running towards that ground, they've made their ground. We can see it there in that yellow circle. Before they've lost contact with the bat, they're still considered to be within their ground, as long as they're continuing towards that ground and beyond. The law now covers them under 30.1.2 that they are within their ground, even if they have removed themselves, or not removed themselves from that ground, they've lost contact with the ground. So not out on that occasion. We move on to question 3 though. We've got a scenario where we've got striker playing forward. We've got the keeper up behind the stumps. Striker removes himself from the ground, realises they've removed themselves from the ground, continues their bat swing down and hits the pitch. We can see there. hits the pitch, but it hits it that hard that the bat bounces up the moment when the keeper takes the bails off. The batsman's been within their ground, and then the bats come up. Are we thinking out or not out, everybody? Yeah, Cam, it's okay to get them wrong here, mate. Absolutely fine. So, excellent, everybody. We've got out. That is out. Out stumped as well, because they're not running or diving towards their ground and beyond, are they? All they are is they're stationary, putting their bat within the ground, but it's bouncing up when the bails are removed. They're not covered under 30.1.2 like it was on the previous question. They're not running and they're not diving towards that ground, so they're not covered, even though they'd been within their ground for that split second. So they're out stumped. Question 4. Every fast bowler's nightmare. Really quick delivery, bowled by the bowler, and absolutely castles the striker, puts the wicket down. And then you hear the dreaded no ball from the umpire as well. First things first, how are we going to answer an appeal if there is one? Fielding side think, yeah, we've got a wicket, we bowled them. How are we going to answer the appeal? Out or not out? Okay, well done. It's going to be not out. Why is it the case though? Why is this not out? Yeah, we're going well. Because they're bowled from a no ball, can we? We can't. The only way that the batsman can be out from a no ball is hit the ball twice, obstructing the field, and also run out. So they're not going to be out bowled from this delivery. However, from the ball hitting the stumps, the ball has been missed by fielders at, let's say, second or third slip, and the ball's then run and gone in, hit into the boundary. How many runs are we scoring from this delivery, this scenario? A, B, or C? Excellent. All right, the answer is B there. I've got 5 runs are scored. So we've got 1 no ball and then 4 byes. So tough on the wicket keeper, but that's okay. They're wicket keepers. They just got to cop it. So the ball, no ball, we're going to be scored. 1 penalty run for that one. Because the ball hasn't touched the striker's bat, the ball hasn't touched the striker's person. Good night, my boy. And then the ball has gone to the boundary. Thumbs up. Love you. Good night. I'll come see you later. Okay? Good night. Break is in about 10 to 8. Okay? I'll come in then.
10 and 8 minutes.
Yep.
So 10 and 8.
Okay. Thanks everybody for that. Just had a slight drinks break there, interruption. There's no, it's not playing time if we're doing penalty time for fielders. Where were we? All right, 1 no ball and 4 byes. Prior to 2017, we're talking 5 no balls there. 27 came in, they changed the laws for that one, how runs are scored from a no ball. We've got 1 run against the bowler, the no ball penalty. But then 4 byes, 4 by extras in the extras column. So we're breaking that up now. The great thing about it is that we can actually see how many runs are scored from no balls now, or what type of runs have been scored during the match. So no ball separated the buys, so we can see what happens in a match. Tough on the keeper, but they've just got to accept that now. Question 5, we've got a situation here where Steve Smith, on strike, hits the ball high up in the air, going out towards long on. Steve Smith's got quite a big backswing. The bat continues to put the wicket down, hit wicket. The ball is then caught at long on. There's an appeal. How are we going to answer the appeal? The hit wicket happened first. The caught happened second. How are we going to give them out? And it's great we're getting different answers coming through. This is really good. Key to our learning. Striker's going to be out, but they're going to be out caught. Going to be out caught on this occasion. Reason being that catch out caught takes precedence over all forms of dismissal apart from one. Do we know what that is? Pop it in the chat box. Court takes precedence over all forms of dismissal apart from one dismissal. Do we know what it is? Fantastic. We're all over it. Bold. So this occasion here, yes, the hit wicket happened first. Then the catch was taken. The catch takes precedence, and that's why they're out. From this delivery, though, the ball was hit high up in the air. The batsmen have run and completed one run, and then the catch was taken. How many runs are we scoring from this delivery? I'll give time for everyone to put their answer in. Yeah, love it. Going well. No runs are scored from that delivery because it's a catch situation, isn't it? So the run, even though it's completed, it's not scored. So the batsmen stay where they finish up. So we've got the striker, Steve Smith on this occasion, out caught. Goes off the field of play. The incoming batsman will go to this end. If that was the last ball of the over, though, who's going to face the next delivery? I probably just gave it away. A or B? Last ball of the over. Steve Smith out caught. Who faces the next delivery? Excellent. The incoming batsman. So as I said before, Steve Smith, non-striker, hits the ball, runs, completes one, gets caught, goes out. Non-striker stays at the striker's end because they've crossed at the moment the catch had taken. The incoming batsman will come to the bowler's end, which is now going to face the first ball of the next over because it was over. Oh, well done. What's the other thing we can take away from this video, though? What's our obligation when we're at the striker's end as the umpire? This striker's end umpires, where they're watching, is actually where the catch has been taken, isn't it? And they've actually missed that hit wicket. Probably just lucky that the ball's been gone and been caught, hasn't it, on the boundary? Yeah. So just remember our obligation to hit wicket, especially there, until the striker has moved themselves away from the stumps and the popping crease. and then we can go out and watch the catch being taken. Another thing, if the keeper's up to the stumps, striker is playing forward, let's watch for the stumping as well. But particularly pay attention to the hit wicket until the striker has removed themselves from that area. All right, question 6. I'm going pretty well for time. I've just shortened this question slightly. That's one thing of mine I need to get better at. I need to reduce the amount of words in the questions. But we've got a 2 innings match. It's scheduled over 2 days. Play is called by the umpire, and then it just starts pouring down with rain. Day 1 completely washed out. What's the minimum lead to enforce the follow-on? So we've got the situation here. We've got Daryl Harper, the umpire, calls play. We've got Mitch Stark at the top of his mark. Before Mitch Stark has taken a step, before he takes a step, starts hammering down with rain. There's no more play for the rest of the day. What is the follow-on? Excellent. Different answers. That's okay. I like it. Situation again, just before we give you the answer. Beginning of the match on day 1. Session 1. We've got the umpire there. Umpire calls play. The bowler's at the top of their mark, ready to start, but hasn't taken that first step for the first delivery. Starts raining. Day 1 completely washed out. We then start again on day 2. Answer is 75 runs for our follow-on. Mike, completely correct, mate. It's considered a 1-day match now. We haven't actually started play on day 1. We haven't started yet, even though we've called play. What if we've got Daryl Harper? Look at the picture of Daryl. Calls play. And then Mitch Stark takes a step for that first delivery. And then it starts raining and you go off the field of play. Has play taken place yet? Yes or no? Umpire calls play, bowler takes their first step. Have we started play on that day? We would have. So by Mitch Stark taking a step for that first delivery, that first delivery, play has actually taken place. So even though we might not have played cricket on day 1, if the umpire called play and the bowler started their run up, we've actually technically started play. So it would remain a 2-day game, even if the whole of day 1 was washed out. But purely for the question here, if the bowler hasn't started their run up after play has been called and day 1 is washed out and we start on day 2, we're now left with a 1-day match and a 75-run follow-on. Just have a look at that, the yellow piece of writing there, everyone. Just take a moment and have a read. It's one thing I took away from Darren Goodge's, one of many things I took away from Darren Goodge's presentation at, in Lismore earlier, a couple of months ago. The figures apply when we're talking about the follow-on. The figures apply from the day on which play first takes place. So even though we've called play, we haven't started play until the bowler starts their run-up. If the bowler started their run-up, good night, my boy. Slightly distracted, sorry. The figures apply from the day on which play first takes place. So if they start their run up after the call of play, we can count that day one, even though we actually haven't played any cricket. So really important for the follow-on total here. Have a look at 14.1 and 14.3 for some further reading there. And then once again, Tom Smith, very good reading on the follow-on. Question 7. We're playing cricket without bails. It's too windy. We've taken bails off from both ends, both wickets. The batsmen start running. They're out of their ground. The ball is thrown at the wicket. What needs to happen for that wicket to be put down with that ball? How can we put the wicket down? It's probably slightly easier without bails when we're just shying at the stumps. All the ball needs to do is touch a stump. If we look at this next example here with these pictures, we'll see a picture, we'll see a circle, and then we'll see a blown up image of what's happening. This match here, WNCL match, probably down in Tasmania, playing without bails, very, very windy and very cold as well. The batsmen have run short of their ground, but the fielder, the bowler at the bowler's end has got the ball, and all she's done to effect a run out or to put the wicket down is put the ball next to the stump, and it wouldn't have been any harder than what I've just done there with the ball next to the pen. All we need is contact on the stump to have a wicket being put down when we're playing without bails. If we look at this first picture here, let's say that the batsmen have run, they've completed one run, the throw would come in and hit the wicket and knock the stump askew. The ball runs off into the outfield. The batsmen start running again. All we need from a fielder is the ball to come in, hit any two of those other stumps that are in the ground, just touch them. Can even touch a stump that's askew, like this. It doesn't have to be upright. The fielder doesn't have to come back in and stick it back in the ground. The ball can come in and actually, as long as the stump is still in the ground, can touch any part of that stump that's askew as well. And that's enough to put the wicket down. The ball only has to touch the stump to effect a run out on that occasion. David Stewart, thank you. Yeah, ball in hand. Really good point you make. Ball in hand to effect the run out. Everyone just have a read of David Stewart's question or comment there. Ball in hand, can even touch the stump with the elbow. The ball actually doesn't physically have to touch the stump itself. So great point you make there, David. Thank you for that. We're going very well for time. Question 8. So we've got a no ball hit into the outfield. Batsmen have crossed on their second. Striker's coming back. Fielder shies at the stumps, misses the stumps, and the ball goes into the outfield. The batsmen have crossed on their third when a fielder then deliberately kicks the ball into the boundary. Deliberately kicks the ball into the boundary once the batsmen have crossed on their third. How many runs are scored? From that delivery? Yeah, thanks, Cam. Don't forget the no ball. Done that before. Excellent, everyone. So 8 runs scored from that delivery. Now, how are they recorded? We're going to have 1 no ball. Thank you, Cameron. Plus 7 runs, all scored, all credited to the striker on this occasion. Who's going to face the next delivery? We've still got balls remaining, obviously, because it was a no ball. Who's going to face the next delivery? Striker or non-striker? Yeah, great. Everyone's got the right idea here. So the non-striker is going to face that next delivery. Now, this situation here, remember earlier before we talked about an overthrow by a fielder. We need to treat that the same as a deliberate act by a fielder. This scenario that we're talking about now is covered under the same law, 19.8. So we've got an overthrow or a willful act by a fielder, resulting in a boundary. Treated exactly the same. So there's no 5 penalty runs on this occasion. It's just the boundary allowance, plus the completed runs, plus what they've crossed on at the moment of the act. Not when the ball hits the boundary. Remember, it's the moment of the act and where the batsmen are at that point in time. So here we've got 8 runs from that delivery. The fielder, by kicking the ball into the boundary, simple thinking, is that if I kick the ball into the boundary, right, yeah, they're going to get 1 no ball, but they're only going to get the boundary allowance of 4, so it'd be 5 runs. Fielder's wrong on that occasion. The other thing that they're wrong about, that they wanted to keep the non-striker off strike, because let's say in this competition, no ball, free hit, I don't want the non-striker facing the next delivery. If I kick the ball into the boundary, they get the boundary allowance and the striker stays on strike. No. The lawmakers have said runs completed, run in progress at the moment of the act, plus the boundary allowance and any other penalties that came off it, this case being a no ball. So the fielder has cost himself, their side, extra runs, and the non-striker will face the next delivery as well. Vikram, no. They need to have crossed for that run to be scored. When we're talking about a run in progress being scored is when we're looking at 41.5, deliberate obstruction, distraction, or deception of a batsman. That's when the run in progress, if they haven't crossed, will be scored. Not applied to this situation. But thank you for your question. Question 9, we'll move on. So here we've got a fast short pitch delivery. So everyone who's done the questions would remember this video. Fast short pitch delivery, Big Billy Stanlake bowling to Cameron Valenti, a match at North Sydney Oval under lights. Plays a hook shot, misses it, but it gets trapped between the back of the helmet and just the top of the shoulder there. Ball gets trapped. Cameron Valenti starts running with the ball stuck here. As he's running, the ball comes loose, rolling along the ground. Cameron picks the ball up whilst it's still rolling on the ground, still moving, and throws it back to the bowler. The fielding side, member of the fielding side, says, "How's that?" There's an appeal. A, B, or C? Everybody, what are we thinking? Excellent, everyone. We've done really well. That's it's not out. Not out on this occasion. Reason being is, as soon as the ball becomes trapped, it's a dead ball. Same as when the ball contacts the boundary rope, the ball becomes dead. Same on this occasion. As soon as the ball becomes trapped, it becomes dead. And then anything that happens after that, we don't have to worry about. So even though Cameron Valenti, the striker, starts running, the ball comes loose, takes a hand off the bat, picks the ball up and throws it back to the bowler. The striker is in no breach whatsoever because the ball is dead as soon as the ball becomes stationary and trapped under that helmet. So not out. Well done, everyone. You might remember back in the July questions as well that we had a similar situation here where the ball became trapped. We can see just in that red circle, the ball is actually trapped between the striker's bat and person. Same situation. Cameron Valenti, the ball's become trapped between his person and equipment. Ball is dead. Same with this example here, trapped between bat and person. Even if that ball happens to fall and we've got a fielder under the helmet in close, dives forward to catch that ball, as soon as it becomes trapped, it's dead. So the catch doesn't count. Striker is not out. All right, question 10. Striker plays at the ball, loses sight of the ball, sees that she's out of her ground, and also sees that the wicketkeeper is coming out to grab the ball to try and run them out or stump them. She doesn't know where the ball is, attempts to make good her ground. In doing so, hits the ball directly before it's touched the wicketkeeper, and it goes back onto the stumps. There's an appeal. Now, option A, I want to go through options, everybody. So just hold off your answers for a moment, please. Go through the options. Could it be not out and a no ball because the wicketkeeper's not wholly behind the wicket? Is that something to consider? Is the batsman obstructing the wicketkeeper from getting at the ball to affect a run out or a stumping? Or is it just a case of the striker is out bowled? What do we think, A, B or C? Have a think of those scenarios. Excellent. I'll just give everyone a chance to answer. It looks like we're doing very well. All right, so the striker is out bowled on this occasion, out bowled. I didn't see any other answers in there, so everyone's got that 100% correct. Well done. Reason why it's not out and not a no ball, reason why it's not a no ball is because the ball has been touched by the striker. So the wicketkeeper is allowed to come in front to get the ball, aren't they? So they're not, the wicketkeeper is not in breach of being not wholly behind the wicket. They're more than entitled to come in front to collect that ball. It's not out obstructing the field because strikers lost complete sight of the ball. So there's no intent. It was accidental. The batsman can't be out obstructing the field if it's accidental. However, it is out bowled because the ball has not touched any other fielder, hasn't touched the other striker, and it hasn't touched an umpire between the striker touching the ball the first time and then the ball going onto the stumps directly. So clearly out bowled. Good stuff. All right, now we come to question 11, lucky last. So here we've got George Bailey chasing after a ball that's been hit by the striker into the outfield. Bailey dives to stop the ball going to the boundary. Bailey dives, contacts his shoulder on the ground, possibly a serious injury there to George Bailey. The umpires realised that we could have a serious injury here. And at that moment, the batsmen have completed one run. They've crossed on their first run. What action do we take as a bowlers and umpire? On this occasion, I'm just going to talk it through the scenario, what the umpire might do. Bailey's dived for the ball, sees he's injured himself possibly seriously. Batsmen have crossed. Possibly serious injury, dead ball. Everyone, dead ball. We've got George Bailey in quite a bit of pain there. We're going to make sure that we can get help as soon as we can. Batsmen have crossed when we call a dead ball. How many runs are going to be scored from that delivery? Excellent, we've done well. One run's going to be scored. Just keep in mind that all we need, the moment the dead ball is called, for one run to be scored to the side that's batting, we just need them crossed. We don't actually need to have the run completed. So if they've crossed, dead ball, batting side will get one run, credited to the striker because they've hit it with the bat. Batsman will stay at that end where they're at now, closest to. So for the next delivery, who's going to face? Striker or non-striker? Leonard, really good question as everyone's putting their answers in. Who's going to call and signal dead ball? Either umpire is allowed to call and signal dead ball in the case of a possibly serious injury to a player or umpire. Either umpire is allowed to call and signal dead ball. Doesn't have to be the bowler's end. The striker's end umpire could be the closest one to the incident. Excellent. So we've got the non-striker will face the next delivery. Dead ball, as they've crossed, they'll remain at those ends. The last part of the question, the scenario is that George Bailey goes off the field now. Goes off the field. He's off the field for 2 hours as well. After 2 hours, George Bailey, all fixed up now. It was one of those things where dived into the ground and sort of, if people that watch rugby league will hear the term burner a bit. So they might have just got a sharp pain, but it's all good now. Comes back onto the field of play. Captain says, when is George allowed to bowl? Penalty time to serve, yes or no? A couple more answers. Excellent. So there's no penalty time to serve on this occasion. And the reason being, we've got an external blow to George Bailey. Some people might be thinking, well, the injury's internal, isn't it? It's the shoulder. It's the shoulder. What we classify as an external blow, and what Tom Smith does, especially in the book, an external blow is an injury caused by an impact. By the shoulder impacting the field of play, That's the impact there. So that's what we can classify as an external blow. Because it's an external blow, there's no penalty time to serve if the fielder is off the field of time for any length of time. External blow, injury caused by an impact. Player could be hit by a ball. That's an impact. That's an external. Players can't fake an external blow, can they? George Bailey there, that's not a fake. That's a pure impact. Player getting hit by a ball, that can't be faked. Internal injuries can be faked. So pulled muscle, a little bit sore, need to go off. Yeah, you can go off, but the amount of time that you're off the field for, you need to serve that penalty time when you get back. I had a game, North Sydney Oval, women's test match. I was fourth umpire. So I was out on the field of play where the teams are warming up. So I was out there looking after the pitch, making sure nobody got on there. The Australian side were doing some fielding practice and just doing some little slips catches. And I had Beth Mooney was fielding at first slip. The ball's come off the bat quite a bit quicker than the other ones and it's gone straight through Beth Mooney's hands and hit her clean in the side of the head. External blow. Now, we didn't have play in progress, but it was after the toss. All right, so if Beth was off the field of play for any length of time, number one, it happened after the toss, became injured after the toss, and it was an external blow. She could have stayed off the field of play, resumed when she was fit enough without having to serve any penalty time on that occasion. I'll just have a quick drink. Now, that's us done for tonight. Claire or Bede, did we have any questions come through that we need to clarify?
Well done, Ben.
There's just one here that's come in from Andrew Milligan, Ben.
Thanks.
With the dead ball, does the ball count for the over, or does it need to be re-bowled for that last question there?
Okay, so because the strikers had an opportunity to play at the ball, even though, yes, we've called and signalled dead ball, we're allowed to under law 20, the dead ball law, if a possible serious injury has occurred. We've taken a slight advantage away from the batting side, allowing them to score runs. But the laws allow us to step in and call dead ball in the case of a serious injury. Strikers had a chance to play at the ball, so it's going to count as one of the over. We do not have to re-bowl it unless it was a wide or a no ball. Thanks for your question. Christian Runner, just having a quick look. Regards to question 9, it's only dead if it's trapped on the batsman's person. As a fielder, can catch if it's lodged in their clothing. Yeah, absolutely right, Christian. So that would be a fair catch if the ball becomes lodged, as long as it's come off part of the striker's bat before it gets caught and it hasn't touched the ground in between. Just having a look down the other questions here. When the chat box gets there. No, excellent. Claire, did you have anything that came up tonight?
I don't think so. I think we covered, either you covered or Ben or Cam McGinn was jumping in and answering some questions really well as well. So I think I think we've got everything covered.
Yeah, unless there's any questions from the audience. Gregory, there we go. Deliberately kicking the ball to the boundary. If repeated, would you then warn the captain if further instance? No, they'd be well aware of, just make sure that they're aware of the penalty if that continues. It's always the same. Treat it as an overthrow situation. Deliberately kicking the ball into the boundary, runs completed, plus runs crossed, plus the boundary allowance, wherever the batsmen are when that act occurs. that's where they'll stay for the next delivery. It's not when the ball touches the boundary. Excellent. So if there aren't any other questions, just want to give a big shout out to Claire and Bede on the line tonight, looking after the chat box. We can't deliver what we do without having people looking after us in the chat box, because it's such a great tool, but it just continues all night. It's fantastic. Thank you everyone for your engagement tonight, but also with the questions during the week from Saturday. We've had so many people go and complete those Google forms. We'd love to hear, when we send out the feedback for the sessions for the whole convention, love to get your feedback around the Google forms, and then also the videos as well, and then whether you prefer the PDF or the online form moving forward for the association as well. Want to wish everyone a great 2021 season. There's going to be plenty of cricket played this year. Very confident of that and very much looking forward to it. I wish you well. Know that we're here for you as well. Send any questions through. If you have any scenarios that you think of, send them in so we can start writing some more questions for them. Wish you well for the year ahead, and thanks everyone for being here tonight. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Cool.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
See you everyone.